You feel bounded to internal pain. First of all, just know that pretty much everyone in society is suffering of this. So you are not the only one. You first gotta understand the inner workings of your mind in order to let go of that form of thinking. You're an intuitive being. You're a spiritual being. So although you may not know exactly the source of your suffering, you know that there is something wrong. Like there is a suffering, right? And this is all happening in your thoughts. But since you aren't familiar with your thoughts, you're not familiar with your nature of thinking, then your conscious looks for the causes in the outside world. You look for causes and then blame, these negative feelings, these negative thoughts, you blame it on outside things. It's nothing more, and this is nothing more than excuses to justify why you're feeling the way you're feeling. If we look deeper, right, you have yet to realize that you've been alternating in and out of mental loops, mental traps. What does that mean though? What does that mean? Literally try to comprehend what does that look like in your life. Your mind is this super tool, this super computer, right, that's so capable of anything, right? David Goggins is a perfect example of how anything is possible, right? Because his body has been broken down, nigga has blood problems, all type of shit. Nigga was fat and he's rose through all of that, right? David Goggins is walking adversity and he overcame all of it. By studying him, right? The only answer you're gonna get from him is that it's all in here. But your potential to be great in this life is being diminished, is being like locked up. Like you're this great thing right here. Like this is your potential. You can achieve this, and that, whatever you want, right? But now you're like locked up. Your mind is like locked up, right? Your potential is locked up in this little prison. And this little prison is useless, repetitive, stagnant thinking. It all starts in the mind. Your thoughts really do create your reality. If your thoughts are captivated, right? If your thoughts are diminished to negativity and to downplaying yourself daily, that's where your reality is going to be. So pretty much, although you may appear to be free in the waking world, in your outer world, right? In the outside life, within, you're locked up. In essence, you're literally locked up in a 24-hour mental lockdown prison. You're not free internally. This is why some people say that free will is an illusion, because you could go and do whatever you want, but can you really though? Because you wanna diet, you wanna lose weight and get healthier, you wanna start working out, you wanna do all these things that your mind is more than capable of, and you know that. You know that you're capable of anything. You know that. But why can't you though? Because your free will is being stripped. You got to fix your mind. This life, the way that it's structured, is literally meant to mind fuck you. Literally. This is the difference between the people in power and the people all the way down at the bottom of the barrel, right? When it comes in this world. The people in power know the power of your mind, and they use the power of the mind, right? They know that, but they cut us off from that information, right? And then just give us the short end of the stick. If we were to really get taught the power of our minds since children in school, this world would look completely different. It'll be completely different. All you need to know how to do is how to really put your mind to something, and then it shall be. That's how powerful we are, right? So this power of yours is being captivated. You're basically like Superman living with kryptonite in your head, in your brain. Like the kryptonite of you is your thoughts. It's in your thoughts. It's in your nature of thinking. That's what's holding you down. That's what's holding you back, truly. There are two sides to your mind. The dualistic mind and no mind. Pay very close attention to this part, right, that I'm about to explain, because this is essential to shedding this suffering that we've been subjected to unnecessarily, right? No mind is the peaceful mind state that we are born with, but we begin to lose it as we grow older and we develop the dualistic mind. We think that this is normal. We think that as we grow older, right, we develop this chatting mind, this mind chatter, mental dialogue. It's not normal. At the very least, it's a mental illness. It really is. Mind chatter, talking to yourself, mental dialogue. Think about it. Do you really think that a small child, right, 5, 6, 7 years old, right, do you really think they are speaking to themselves in their mind? Nah. Let's say he's playing with his toys. He's literally out loud speaking like, oh, they did this and that. Like, he's creating life in his head. He's being creative. I can't remember which Toy Story movie it was, but there's one movie that starts where you have Woody, Mr. Potato Head, and then they trying to save a train that's going. I might put the movie clip there so y'all know what I'm talking about.
Evil Dr. Porkchop!
It's Mr. Evil Dr. Porkchop to you.
What do you know will kill you? Just do it!
All that was happening, right? That was all in Andy's head. He was being creative and he was literally speaking out loud. He was speaking to life. When you're having mental dialogue, that's something different, because mental dialogue is ruled by negativity. At most of the time that we have mental chatter is because some type of insecurity, some type of thing that we are unable to settle with ourselves in our heads. It's stuck there. Like it's this thing that doesn't allow us to be in the present moment and have peace, right? As long as you have mental dialogue, you're going to feel a temptation to dwell on something that's in the past, or to try to anticipate and predict the future, right? You're going to feel the need to anticipate the future so you can control it in a way that you want it to go. Like, this is not the right functions of your mind, because you trying to, in essence, control the future is really the ego trying to be in control. And that need for our egos to be in control of everything, that's what really ruins things. If you really think about it, that's what ruins things. You gotta have this almost like carefree spirit to yourself, right? It's okay to look into the future every once in a while and plan certain things, but let life be spontaneous. The more you try to control it, the more you try to anticipate the future, the more predictable it's gonna be. And that's a bad thing, because then that's how, just like you get stuck in mental loops, right? Every single day you're thinking about the same things, right? Like you're not realizing how stuck you are. Imagine a 7-day span, right? This Monday you were thinking about the same thing that you thought about on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday you thought about the same thing that you thought about on Monday and Tuesday. Like, it's literally you woke up, thought the same exact thoughts, right? And probably in a slightly different context, right? But it is the same thing. More often than not, it's something that you are complaining about. It's something negative, especially when it is your mind trying to beat you down, right? When it's, imagine you're thinking the same thing, like, oh, I'm a loser, I'm this and that. 7 days a week, you thought the same thoughts, right? The same thoughts. It's just a loop, bro. You're not getting past that. There's so much other things that you can imagine. You have a computer and you're watching the same video the whole 7 days of the week. The next week you're watching the same video again. You're stuck in a loop, but you're not realizing that if you close that tab, there's a whole bunch of options behind that. You can open up a new tab, search up something creatively, right? Come up with something creative to search up. You can do so many other things with this computer, but you're stuck in this one tab and you're not realizing, right? It's almost like, imagine the X button that closes the tab. It's almost like it's not there. That's how it feels like when you're stuck in mental loops like that. And just like you get stuck in mental loops, your thoughts create your reality. So that's how your reality is going to look like. Your ego is going to feel the need to be in control, constantly dwelling on the past, right? And those things that you dwell on about that's in the past, you have been dwelling on for so long, and you're thinking the same exact things, and it's leading you nowhere. The same thing with the future. You keep trying to anticipate the future when in reality, all you're causing is your life to be a literal loop, right? Because that's how you feel safe. The unknown, trying new things, trying out opportunity that makes you feel afraid. The unknown, new things, makes you feel insecure, so you feel safe living in a loop. Basically, you go to work, you do this, you do that, and you want your day to go exactly how it went yesterday and then the week before. Also, this is what's causing this internal suffering, because you want to grow. Like, you feel safe in this little loop that you're in because you already know the predictability. Like, you already know what's gonna happen, this and that. But you also want to grow. You want to become a better person. You want to achieve things. And this is damn near impossible if you don't break out that loop. You can't be going on a road that goes in circles and expect to get anywhere. You feel what I'm saying? That's insanity. We're literally leading our lives in a circle, and that's insanity. Like, we're not thinking of any other roads. Like, we could do so many things in this life. And for some reason, we have this mindset that we gotta pick one thing, and that's the thing that we gotta stick with, and that's the thing that we gotta do for the rest of our lives. Like, bro, do you not realize that we have enough years to live to learn 7 languages? Even if you don't live that long, 50 years, it's enough for you to learn how to cook, right? There's people out here that, bro, they don't even know how to, You got to learn things in this life, bro. Your mind is a learning tool, bro. You gotta use your mind. You have to use your mind, bro, you gotta try different things. This is also what's keeping us stagnant in this loop, because we're settling for a life that's paycheck to paycheck, right? And this is where we get stuck at, because we have to conquer the monetary system of this world. Like, you have to conquer it before you can elevate more to those levels where you can be physically free. And that's always going to reflect your mind state. If you liberate your mind, it's going to liberate your real life. You're going to realize money is not scarce, it's abundant. It's all about how you view life, and how you view life is on your thoughts. So if you keep thinking and believing that money is scarce, right? Oh, rich people are lucky and this and that, bro. You gotta view yourself as royalty too. Because what do rich people got that you don't got, right? Oh, their house might be bigger, but you got a house. Right? They TV might be bigger, but you got a TV. You got a TV. The same shit that they watching on their big ass TV is the same shit that you can watch on your TV. The same foods that they can eat, you can eat the same shit. You just go to a fancy restaurant one weekend. You feel me? They might have a personal chef, and they might get it personally delivered to their bedroom. Nigga, you can go to a restaurant, nigga, and that's a temporary personal chef for you, nigga, and they gonna deliver it to your table, nigga, freshly cooked, nigga, all at your service. You feel what I'm saying? They might have a personal driver and a fancy car, nigga, but you can call up a cab, nigga. That's a personal driver, isn't it? For way less money than what they paying. You feel what I'm saying? Bro, you royalty. When are you gonna recognize that this life is abundant? Are you not realizing all this shit that this life is off doing for you, bro? Are you not realizing all this shit that this life is offering you? This life is literally babying you, bro. Mother Earth loves you, bro. God loves you. That's why he got you in a safe place. That's why he don't allow nothing to hurt you. That's why he's not allowing you to fall off all the way. That's why you still alive, bro. Every day above ground is a good day, bro. Every day above ground is a good day. Because you have a chance and a choice. You know how many motherfuckers dead, bro? You know how many motherfuckers in their deathbed that's gonna die next week, bro? They die fat or some shit. They regret not approaching that girl. They regret not working harder to get fit. They regret not trying to get rich. They regret not having a better relationship with their family. They regret not accomplishing this dream to make their mama proud. Bro, you gotta really have the mindset that you're going to die one day, bro. And you're the phrase that we only live once is not true. We live more than once because we're a soul and spirit. Reincarnation is real. I don't give a fuck what you think, my nigga. This is my channel, and I'm going to tell it how it is, nigga. Reincarnation is real. But you gotta have that mindset that you only live once, because that allows you to live your life to the fullest. Because you feel me, I don't know, you don't know when you're gonna die. You feel me? You don't know when you're gonna die. You can be born in worse circumstances. You don't know if God is really blessing you in this life right now, bro. And think about it, you could have been born somewhere where it's extremely dangerous, where people be dying all the time, where your friends be dying and shit because the violence is so extreme. You feel me? You could have been somewhere that's extremely poor, nigga. Your stomach is hurting every day, nigga. You skinny as bones because there's no food around, there's nothing, bro. You could have been born in way worse circumstances. You feel me? So it's really on the transmutation of energy, right? You have all this negative energy. You feel me? All this mind chatter, all this negative chats that you have with your mind. You basically a gossiper. You keep gossiping in your head. And that's negativity that you're building up. Instead of gossiping about the bad things of this world, like, man, this world's so fucked up, man. Why the fuck are we even living? What's the point of life? This and that, the government, fuck rich niggas, they greedy. You gotta transmute that energy and be like, I don't give a fuck what these rich niggas are doing, nigga. I'm just as abundant as them. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just as abundant as, and when you switch your perspective, that's when abundance actually manifests in your life, bro. It's all about a mindset. Your mind is powerful. Your mind can achieve it all. So we are stuck within the dualistic mind, and this is why we have been limiting ourselves, because the dualistic mind settles for pain and pleasure. The dualistic mind alternates between pain and pleasure. Our minds have been brought up to a place where we have been stuck within, and we don't know the way out. And that is a hamster wheel of pain and pleasure. We in a hamster wheel. We keep chasing pleasure, right? We keep chasing pleasure because we have lost that which is no mind. No mind is a peaceful state where no thoughts are corrupting your mind, right? Because what you gotta know is that mind and body are one. Mind and body are one. So they reflect to each other. Whatever you think is reflected in your body as an emotion. And whatever you feel is reflected back to your mind as a thought. So this is where the internal dialogue is happening, right? Your mind generates a thought, right? Then it's reflected as an emotion. And that emotion, right, that negative emotion makes you feel an impulse, right, to react to that thought. And then so because that thought made you feel that emotion, then you tell it something back. You literally talk to your mind. that thought, you talking back to your mind, is you reflecting that feeling back to your mind as a thought, right? And then you stuck in a loop. It's a cycle. And that cycle is composed of pain and pleasure. That's what it's composed of. You keep chasing pleasure outside of you from external things, the pleasures of life. That being sex, junk food, drugs, entertainment. You feel me? Whenever you experience pleasure, you want to hold on to it. But this is the thing. You can't have eternal pleasure. You can have eternal peace, but you can't have eternal pleasure. So although you might get this temporary satisfaction, right? You can't have pleasure without pain, because they're both part of the dualistic mind. That is your relief from the pain, right? When you experience pleasure, but the pleasure is temporary. So then you're brought back to the pain, and so to cover up that pain, you then chase the pleasure again. So that's how you've been stuck in a loop, right? You get your little relief, right? Boom, and then you get these positive feelings, and then you get these positive thoughts from this pleasure. But then once it subsides, you go back to the pain, and that's the painful part, is having to go back to the pain, bro. It's like substance abuse, right? When you abuse a drug or a substance, right? What people say that tolerance is, the first few times you experience a very high dose of pleasure. But every single time you do it, right, and the pleasure subsides, the pain gets greater and greater and greater. So the pleasure gets smaller and smaller. With each time that you chase pleasure, it doesn't have to be substance. Anything, bro. Anything that has to do with pleasure. The more that you do it, right, the more that you abuse that pleasure, each time that you do it is gonna be less pleasurable and more painful once the pleasure subsides. That's how people become dependent on fucking sex, on food, on drugs. That's how you feel me? That's how you become dependent on those type of things. We need balance. That's what we need. Balance to create peace. Pleasures of life are not bad itself, but what we need to do is fix the pain so we don't have to rely on the pleasures. You feel me? Life inflicting pain onto us is the thing that got us stuck in this dualistic mind in the first place. So if we fix that pain, we don't need pleasure that much, and then we can have a balance of peace. Now you gotta understand that the dualistic mind settles for pleasure as its happiness. We are tricked into thinking that the pleasure is happiness. That's why people say money can't buy happiness, because it can't. It can buy pleasure, but it can't buy happiness, because pleasure is not happiness. Happiness is peace. I don't think people value peace as much as it is really worth. Peace is the highest pleasure of life, if you want to call it that. It's what we all seeking. Nothing to worry about, being carefree, just like a baby, bro. No stress. No, you feel me? You can have that, but you need a dopamine detox, because you keep chasing dopamine hits from the pleasures of life. The bigger the dopamine hit, the bigger the drop below baseline, right? So you have a dopamine baseline. When your dopamine drops below baseline, that is disappointment. That is, you feel me, negativity. That is feeling low, feeling the opposite of pleasure, bro, pain. We have to learn to regulate this, right? And we have to understand that peace is not an emotion. We have to stop moving with emotions, because emotions corrupts our peace. You gotta understand that peace, joy, and happiness, it never leaves you. It's always within you. Now, what we know as emotions, right, whether they're pleasurable emotions or painful emotions, are just a distortion. They're just a distortion of our natural state of being, that being peace. Bro, peace is always within us and never leaves, but it is corrupted. And when it's corrupted, right, we know it as being emotions. When you move without emotion, you move with a peaceful heart. First thing that you gotta do, stop identifying with mind chatter. Stop identifying with this negativity, right? Because your mind speaks to you and then it wants you to reinforce it through you speaking to it back. You gotta start to refuse to engage in mental dialogue. Force your way back into the present moment, because the peace is in the present moment. The peace is in the present moment. When you start to learn how to value the present moment and the importance of it, the need to chase pleasure is going to dwindle. The only thing that's continuing this cycle is your unconsciousness to it. You have to learn how to value and be in the present moment. And for that, you need to cut off the pleasure, because the pleasure is like distractions that you have to sit with the pain. You have to sit with the pain. You got to stop running away from the pain, because that's what the pain pleasure cycle is really doing. Like, every time you're chasing pleasure, is really running away from the pain, because you're unwilling to address that which is damaging you. All of these problems, all that I just spoke about, it comes down to addressing your pain. You sitting with the pain. This is why meditation is the cure to everything, because you cure the mind, you cure the body, you cure your life. You feel me? Mind and body are one. If you cure your thoughts, you're going to cure your feelings. They're a reflection of each other. You got to learn mental alchemy, how to transmute energy. Before that, you got to heal that pain, because that pain is keeping you in a state where your mind beats you down and you don't want to feel that. So you cover that up with pleasure. So you have to sit in meditation with the pain and then let it work out. It's going to sort itself out. It's going to sort itself out. The more you really sit with yourself, sitting with yourself is the solution to everything. Just sit with yourself, and the right things that you need to realize are going to come to you. The only thing that is needed on your part is really effort. You got to really want it. The way to get rid of this internal pain is to go through it. You got to face it. You are afraid of it. Stop covering it up and just face it. Sit with it. Sit with it. You got to understand it. Get to know your pain. Get to the core of it. Get to the source. And there is no better way to do that than to sit with yourself. When you're engaging in mind chatter, you are talking to your mind, and it is talking to you back about why this and that is this way, making excuses for why you are lazy, why you need to keep smoking, why you need to keep drinking, why it is, you feel me? Like, literally all that it is, right? Mind chatter, all that it is you and your mind coming together to duck the pain. You just talking to your mind, justifying why is okay for you to duck the pain. But then when you cut out all the distractions, right? When you cut out the pleasure and just sit or just with the pain, your mind is going to start telling you some real shit. It's some shit that we don't want to hear. When we get to the other side of that, then we're going to start to hear what we really want to hear. But we got to sit with it all. We got to sit with the good, the bad, and the ugly. We got to get to know all parts of ourselves. We got to get to know ourselves. Journal. Meditate. You can even make like personal vlogs of you just speaking your heart, you feel me, into your phone, whatever. But you gotta express yourself in an honest way where pleasure is not in the way. You gotta express your pain. You gotta let yourself express that pain. The reason why you feel bound to internal pain for no reason is because you're not letting it out, because you keep covering it up with pleasure. You gotta let it out. You gotta sit with it. Let it rise. And then once it arises, when it's going through you and out of you, it feels shitty. But you gotta go through it.